part one of how to tile a wooden floor. We've got equivalent of floorboards on a suspended floor, and what we're going to do is we're going to tile it in wood effect parquet flooring, but tiles. There's some specific problems with tiling on wooden floors: flexibility, deflection, that kind of thing. So we'll run through the whole method, and hopefully you'll be able to see how it looks at the end. I'm going to do this in multiple parts so people can pick which part they want. So if you just want to watch what we do with the prep, that's fine. Or if you want to just watch me put tiles down or grout it or whatever, we can do those in separate videos. It's worth noting that in the UK, when doing bathrooms, kitchens, if it's on a suspended wooden floor, you usually overboard it with 12mm ply or 18mm, depending on the quality of the floor, or use a cement board, which is more popular now. And in fact, you can use that in France. You can use the cement board, but they don't typically use the plywood. So we're going to do this how it's done in France. The preparation involves primering the wood, filling in any holes, and then using floor leveling compound. Here we got this problem, which is a sofa, and it is so heavy I can't take it down. It took me 6 hours to get it up here, so I'm not taking it down. So we're going to move that into the corner, do the rest, section that off, come back and do that bit, just the size of the sofa once we've done the rest with the leveling. First thing we need to do is inspect the floor, and there's a few holes in. I'll show you how we're going to deal with the holes that are in the wood. Okay, so the floor's got some holes where the knots were. Obviously we can't put floor leveling on this, it'll just run straight into whatever's underneath. So we're going to use the same method that I used when I was drilling the lamp to convert it to mains electricity, to drill a perfect circle, and then make a plug to fit in, stick it in, and that should be it. So we're going to need hole saws. I've got two here. One actually fits just over the other one. So we use this one to drill our hole in the floor, and this one to make the plug. Leaves us with a hole that this drill now fits inside of. Let's drill this. So we put that over the centre of the hole that we want to drill, and then put weight on the wood to stop it from moving. Okay, so we've now got a perfectly round hole, and we need to fill this hole. So we need another hole in this piece of wood. So this is our plug. Fits in there lovely. But the problem is we don't want this hole. There we go, one plug, just to hold it in the hole. just like that. And that's it. That's how you plug a hole in the floor. So I've got about 30, 40 of these to do. Okay, so our holes are all plugged. Have a look. These bits here, I've checked, there's no way for any of the levelling to go down. Right, now we've done the plugs, we need to turn our attention to the edges. Let's have a look down here. So you can see the floorboard doesn't quite go to the wall. That might not be the case where you are, and I've obviously got these holes here as well. So where it's thin, I'm just going to use the same non-solvent adhesive just to fill the gaps. That's just to stop it from going down. Whatever you put in there, make sure it's flexible. The expansion of the floorboards, you need somewhere to go, so that's why I'm using this. So I'll carry on, do all the way around. Right, so now we've filled all the edges in, filled all the holes in the floor in. Next thing to do is give it a really good clean. We'll start by sweeping it up, then go over it with a vacuum cleaner and get everything out that we can, scrape off any plaster or anything that raises the level up, but just make sure it's totally flat and clean. Okay, one last thing before we primer it. What we've got to look now is what's going to happen around the edges. It's quite unique to this setup because it's a mezzanine, so you've got an open side there. But you probably have a doorway or some access that will need sectioning off, and of course it's unique to this. That's where the sofa's going to stay. So we need to section that off so that we can level this part of the floor and just leave that rectangle. Right, we've got our little lips there to stop anything going down, but you see there's a little gap there, a little gap there, a little gap there. So we're going to use our solvent free just to plug any little gaps now. almost there for the prep. We've done all around the edges, so it can't go anywhere. All the holes in the floor are done. My sofa is sectioned off. So all we've got left to do now is primer the floor. Read the back of the floor levelling, find out what primer it needs, and then follow the instructions carefully. Mine says it needs SPR type primer, mixed 1 to 3. So I've got some mixed up. So I'm going to start in the corner, work my way towards the stairs, and that hopefully should be it for today. Come back, let it go off overnight, come back tomorrow and we'll do the levelling. That's it. I'm going to do another coat in about 2 hours because you need 2 coats on it, but simple as that. Okay, it's the next day. I put another coat on about 9 o'clock last night, so we're ready to go with the floor levelling. Just a quick note on one thing that I forgot to mention, which is expansion and expansion gaps. Normally you would leave a gap around the edge between the walls. If you've got 2 solid walls, leave a gap between the floor and the walls, the floor level in the walls and the tile in the walls, and that's usually covered by skirting. However, in this location, all the walls are really flimsy. In France you build with metal tracking and plasterboard, and that's easily enough when you've got 2 walls to take up the slack if there's any expansion between them. This is really all you need. So we've got floor leveling, just an old trowel, bucket, mixing drill, and then we have a spiked roller with an extendable handle. I can't stress how much easier this job will be with one of those. Most people don't use them, but once I'd used them, I wouldn't use anything else, and I'll show you how easy it is. But if you can afford it, or you can get hold of one to borrow, definitely get one of those. Okay, so a word on what type of floor leveling do we need? Well, if you have a look here, fibre reinforced is a definite because it's a wooden floor, and it's also suitable for underfloor heating. That's quite important if you're going to use underfloor heating, but we're not. But it's a good example. If you see something like this or this logo, that it's flexible enough for a wooden floor. Some other things to take into note is how long you can walk on it afterwards. So 2 to 3 hours you can walk on it, but to be fair, we're going to leave it until next time. Have a look on the back. Usually it's all written in multi-language, so it shouldn't be too difficult. But the things we want to know is, the important thing is how much water per bag. So if we have a look, 5 litres per bag, 5 litres of water. We've done all this, rapid primer, done all that. So we're into how to work with it. So I'll show you how to do that instead of having to read all that. Okay, so now you've got the right type of floor leveling. It's very important. It's got to be super flexible, the most flexible one you can get. It's not going to be cheap, but that's what you need. We know how much water we want. It's 5 litres. So grab yourself a measuring jug because it's got to be super accurate. Not only is it got to be accurate, but you've got to do the same mix to the same consistency for each bag. Otherwise it won't mix together properly. We're going to have a quick look at the floor because we want to work out how many bags we're going to need. This is tricky. I just do it by and looking at the area, how uneven it is, and through experience roughly know how many it is, and then add another bag on, simply because it's difficult to go and get another bag halfway through this process. By the time you get back, it's already set. Not bad. Okay, that's as flat as we're going to get that bit for now. So, same again. I'll do another mix, exactly as we did before. Carry on. Right, that was done quite quick. Another tip, wash up straight away. Get that roller under the hose pipe and get the bucket clean, trowel clean. It washes off super quick with water. If you leave it, you'll never get it off and it'll be ruined. Anyway, that's that done. Let's have a look, see how it turned out. Yeah, pleased with that. Looks pretty good, but we won't know till I put a spirit level on it this evening. Yeah, it looks good. You can see I missed a hole. That's not going to cause us any problems. So join us in part 2, where I'll set out the tiling, show you how to calculate what goes where, and then we'll start with the tiling. So far so good. Join me then. Thanks for watching.